Okay, so as like braking system, the steering system also much important. The steering system also much important to control the vehicles because steering system is responsible steering system is responsible for the direction of the movement. Okay, means, and the steering is attached to the front wheel axle only. Okay, so from we can control the front wheel axle, and for the reverse gear, which is also controlled by the front wheel steering system. So in here we just see here how from this red spring, hello, just wait one second. Hello, are I audible to all? Hello, please reply.
Yes, sir.
Okay, okay, thank you. So, what is a steering system? Steering system, the term applied to the collection of components, linkages, mechanisms. So, these are the linkage components mechanisms because there is a lots of components and linkage by which steering mechanism is possible or steering system is possible, which will allow a vehicle to follow the desired course or desired direction. An automobile is steered with the help of steering gear and linkage, which transfer the motion of the handle operated steering wheel for the steering of a vehicle wheel pad, steering shaft, steering box, steering arm is there, and steering stability is. These parts are made of durable material like stainless steel, iron, aluminum, copper, magnesium, titanium, platinum, rubber, plastic, etc. Means there are a number of components which is made of number of materials. See, this is a conventional type of steering system. See here, here we can connect the our steering wheel. Okay, this is our steering box, means mechanism controlled by in this box. Okay, we can roll this steering wheel which is attached to here, and according to that the wheel is rotated. Now this is steering box is connected to the drag link. This is our drop arm. Drop arm is connected to the drag link, and drop arm connected to the steering box. Now this is second drag link which is directly connected to the drag link, and this is drag arm. Now what happened? See, here is the mechanism. Axle beam is here, spring seat and kingpin is here. Now stub axle, track rod arm, track rod end joint. So what happened? See here. The steering box direct connected to one wheel. See, this is the one wheel. And here what happened? This drag arm directly connected to the this crank rod, and crank rod is make the movement of second wheel. See, so first wheel and second wheel both are is connected to the here one wheel is connected, here one wheel is connected, and here by this crank rod second wheel also connected to the steering system. Now function of the steering system, it help in swinging the wheel to the left or right. It converts the rotary movement of the steering wheel into the angular movement or angular turns of the front wheel. Means we provide the rotary motion of steering wheel, and it's convert to the angular movement of the front wheel. It's multiply the effort of the driver by leverage in order to make it fairly easy to turn the wheel. Okay, so what happened? By the steering wheel we provide a very little displacement, and that is show a large deformation or large angular displacement by the wheel, front wheel. It's absorb a major part of the road shock, thereby preventing them to get transmitted to the handle of the driver. Okay, so steering system also provide a shock absorber, because due to the surface irregularity of the road, some shocks is generated through the movement of the vehicle. So steering system also provide a shock absorber to protect the shock on the steering wheel, which is operated by the driver arm. It helps in turning the vehicle at the wheel of the driver. Means whatever the which direction driver is want, the steering wheel help to the driver. They can easily turn to the vehicle in desired direction. It's provide directional stability. It means while changing the direction of the vehicle, it's provide the stability. Means there is no disturbance or vibration effect during the direction changing by the steering wheel. It's help in controlling wear and tear of the tire. How this line is perfect for the steering system. It's help in controlling wear and tear of the tire. Wear and tear of the tire. How? Because we can change the direction. We can change the direction if rough surfaces come under the journey. Okay, so we can change the direction when rough surface or poor road condition is arrived. Then we can turn and find the less rough surface of the road. So can by changing the direction we can avoid the more tear and wear. So that's why it is writing here. It's help the controlling wear and tear of the tire. It's help in achieving the self writing effect. Okay, so what is that mean? Self writing effects. Self writing effect means it's during the journey, it provide a self writing effect means during the device, if we don't provide any movement on the steering wheel, then they can control itself. They can control itself to provide proper direction of the front wheel. Now, of the steering system. Requirement of the steering system. The steering system of any vehicle should fulfill the following requirements. What are the requirements here? It should be multiply the turning efforts apply on the steering wheel by the drivers. Okay, so what happened? Whatever the force be applied, whatever the force be applied on the steering wheel, that force get multiplied to turn the front wheels. Okay, so can you assume that without steering wheel, how much force is required to turn the front wheel axle? You can't assume, or you can't able to Think that without a steering wheel, you can change the direction or move the direction of the front wheel axle. But by the steering wheel, it is easily a small force on the steering wheel. You can easily turn the front axle. So it can multiply the effort applied on the steering wheel by the driver to rotate or turn the front axle. It should be a certain extended irreversible. It should be a certain extent irreversible. In other words, the shock of the road surface encountered by the wheels should not be transmitted to the driver hand. So what happened? Irreversible. Irreversible means whatever the shocks absorbed by the rear axis, it doesn't transfer to the steering wheel, so that the driver hand don't feel any shocks, because the shocks is absorbed by the steering mechanism. The mechanism should have self righting effect when the driver when the driver release the steering wheel after negotiating the turn. The wheel should try to achieve straight right ahead position. What I tell you, that is the same. Means if vehicle is moving and we have to remove our hand, then what happen? The steering wheel or steering mechanism put in straight direction. That is the writing effects. Okay, they, because if we don't apply any effort on driving wheel, so it don't rotate itself. That is our writing effects. Now we come steering geometry. The term steering geometry, also known as front end geometry, because the steering system is apply only the front wheel axle. So it is front end geometry. Refer to the angular relationship between the suspension and steering parts. Front wheel and the road surface. Front wheel and the road surface sorry okay, front wheel and the road surface, because alignment deal with angles and affect steering system. The method of describing the alignments measurement is called steering geometry. Means the geometry which describe the relationship between the suspension and steering parts and also describe the alignment measurements, that is geometry called the steering geometry. There are five steering geometry angle: camber, caster, toe, steering axis, inclination, and toe out on the turn. So camber, caster, it is toe in, steering axis, inclination, and toe out on the turns. So these are the five angles, and these five angles relations called the steering geometry. Means in steering geometry we can see the relationship of these five angles. So there are two more steering geometry angle that are not specified to each wheel, but measure the special special relationship among all four wheels. There are setback and thrust angle. So these are thrust back and setback angles. Now see, here you see the different type angle which is shown here. See, this is camber angle. So what is this camber angle? Camber angle is the twist, maximum twist or twist vertical, means it is so that stationary position, and when turning is occur, this must be angle, the straight position, and this is the side angle. The cluster is side angle. See, this is the cluster. So angle between the suspension link and the vertical, angle between the tire twist and the vertical to tire twist, that is the camber, and suspension link and vertical, that is the caster. So this is our thrust angle, and this is geometry center line here. So here we can between these, the geometry center line and the thrust line angle is called our thrust angle. So from here you can see this is our camber and included angle. This is the total included angle here. So what we can say that this is the maximum possible rotation or turn which is a vehicle front axle shows. Now this is our camber, and see here y, and this is x. So what is toe in y minus x, that is the angle. So Here, if we draw a vertical line like this, and now this vertical line and this. So that is our toe in angles. Now all the steering geometry angles can be measured in degree. However, toe in and sit back can be measured in the term of distance and may be given in inch or mm. Setback and the toe in toe out, that is measured in the term of distance. The five traditional alignment angles can be classified as tire wear angle or directional control angle. Okay, so five angles divided into two parts, which is one is tire wear angles and directional control angles. A tire wear angle helps to prevent the tire wear when correct or accelerate tire wear when incorrect. Okay, so what happened? A tire wear angles help to tire wear. So tire wear is less if the angle is correct, and tire wear is more when the wear angles incorrect. A directional control angle affects steering and handling. All five of the traditional alignment angles are directional control angles. The thrust angle and setback hold importance for the effect they have on the other alignment angle. So here, this is our setback angle. See, this is our setback angle and this is our toe out condition. See, inside wheel is at 20 degree, and now see here out wheel is at the 18 degree. So this is about the out wheel, this is the in wheel. So how we can choose the out wheel and in wheel? Okay, what is that? Okay, it means, see, if our vehicle is rotate like this at this curvature, so the center of curvature is here in this side. So which wheel is this side? Means we can say that which wheel is the side is toward the center of curvature. So this wheel is inside wheel and this wheel is outside wheel. Okay, similarly, if this same vehicle is rotate like this, so now what happened? This wheel is comes here and this wheel is comes here. So this wheel is now become outside wheel and the outside wheel, which is here, become inside wheel. So any wheel is changed into inside wheel and outside wheel depend on the turning condition. Now, Ackermann steering system, very, very, very important, because one question is compulsory comes regarding the Ackermann steering system. If you're in semester done by the conventional method, means theory paper is done by the conventional method, but it is also important for your MQC purpose. Means if two three question is, if question is arrived from the third unit, or we can say that automotive control system, then definitely some question is based on the Ackermann steering system. Okay, so what is Ackermann steering system? Ackermann steering geometry is a geometric arrangement of linkage in the steering of a car or other vehicle designed to solve the problem of wheel on the inside and outside of a turn, needing to trace out circles of different radii. Modern cars do not use pure Ackermann steering, partly because it ignores importance of dynamic and competence effect. Some race cars use reverse Ackermann mechanism or geometry to competence for the large difference in the slip angle between the inner and outer front tire while concerning at a high speed. The use of such geometry helps to reduce the tire temperature during the high speed concerning, but compromise performance in low speed. The inverse of Ackermann mechanism or geometry is to avoid the need for the tires to slip side way when the following the path around a curve. The geometrical solution to this is a for all wheel to have their axle arranged as radii of a circle with a common center point. As the rear wheel are fixed, this center point must be on a line extended for the rear axle, intersecting the axis of the front wheel. On this line as well requirements that the inside front wheel is turned. When the steering to a greater angle than the outside wheel, then the proceeding turnable steering when both front wheels turn around a common pivot. See, these are the turning condition: straight turning, straight turning, straight and turning. Now see what happened. What happened here? So we can see that this is our inside wheel and this is our outside wheel. So here you can simply see the animation of the wheel when it occurs. So what happened? We just apply and now see rotate of the steering wheel and it is applied to the front wheel mechanism. So see here it is connected to one wheel and the linkage connection to the this rod. By this we can rotate both the wheel or turn the both the wheel. Now steering gears. The steering gear is a device for converting the rotary motion of the steering wheel into the straight line motion of the linkage with a mechanical advantage. If the steering wheel is connected directly to the steering linkage, it would require a great effort to move the front wheel. Therefore, to assist the driver, a reduction system is used having a steering ratio. The ratio, what is the steering ratio? The steering ratio is the ratio between turn of the steering wheel in degree or handlebar and the turn of the wheel in the degree. So between 10 ratio 1 to 24 ratio 1. So what happened means if I apply the effort 1, then what happened? It moves 10, 24 to 1. Actual value depend upon the type and the weight of the vehicle. Type and weight of the vehicle. But minimum is this and maximum is this. A higher steering ratio means that you have to turn the steering wheel more. Means if this ratio, so we have to give the more rotation on the steering wheel and less effort shown on the tire. Okay, so if you travel from a bus and you get a chance to sit on the side of the driver, then you can see a passenger bus how much they can rotate the steering wheel on the turning. Around they can rotate 720 or 1050 degree of the steering wheel to get a turn. Okay, so heavy vehicles get or have more steering ratio in comparison to small vehicle or light wheel vehicle. But if but it will be easier to turn the steering wheel. A lower steering ratio means that you have to turn the steering wheel less to get the wheel turning. But it will be harder to turn the steering wheel. Larger and heavier vehicle like truck will often has a higher steering ratio which will make the steering wheel easier to turn. It normal and lighter car, the wheel become easier to turn so that steering ratio does not have to a high. In race car of the like we can say that Formula One car and whatever the uh, we can say there is a competition where we can make a bike, make a vehicle and take the competition part. The speed is very high. So what happened in that, the steering ratio is become low because you want to vehicle to respond a lot quicker than in normal cars. So in the sports car or racing car, the steering ratio is compared to the normal car is much lesser. The steering gear are enclosed in the a box called the steering box. There are mainly different design of steering box. They are following: worm and gear wheel steering gear, worm and sector wheel steering gear, cam and lever peg steering gear, cam and roller are worm and roller steering gear, worm and nut and screw gear system, recirculating ball steering gear, rack and pinion steering gear. So these are the type of the steering box gear system. This is not for the automobile gear system. This is the gear system for the steering mechanism. Now worm and wheel steering gear. So the system consists of worm wheel which is carried in the bearings in a cast iron case. The case is made in hovels. The outer end of the worm wheel is fixed to a drop arm which is having ball end to connect the side rod. The side rod is connected to the steering arm which is fixed to the stub axle. The worm wheel is keyed on to a steering shaft, have a mesh with the worm wheel. The steering wheel is mounted at the upper end of the steering shaft. When driver rotates the steering wheel, the drop arm move the either backward or forward direction. The motion result in the motion of the stub axle. So see, this is our drop arm and this is our steering shaft. So wheel is fixed here. Steering wheel is fixed here. So we can just rotate the steering wheel. Now what happened? We just rotate the steering wheel. So this is our worm and this is our gear. So what happened? The rotary motion of this steering wheel convert to the angular moment of this drop arm, and this drop arm connected to forward mechanism. So this is the mechanism for the worm wheel. So this is worm and this is wheel. Both are the gear. So this is our gear and this is our worm gear. So we can say that one circular wheel, so that is our wheel, and one horizontal component connected to the wheel. So this rotary motion convert to the angular motion. Worm and sector. So what is worm and sector? So here what we can see, Worm gear is also here, but what happened in the place of full gear, a partial gear is apply here. A partial gear is apply here, which is provide to the rotary motion to the linkage. So what happened? In this type of steering box, the end of the shaft from the steering wheel has a worm gear attached to it. The mesh directly with a sector gear called because it's section of a full gear. Okay, so full gear is not apply here. It is a section part of the full gear. That's why it's called worm and sector gear steering system. So when the steering wheel is turned, the shaft turn, the worm gear and the sector pivot around its axis as its teeth and move along the worm gear. The sector gear is mounted on the cross shaft which pass through the steering box and out of the bottom where it's slide, and the pitman arm is attached to the spline. When the sector turns, it turns the cross shaft. When turn the pitman arm, giving the output motion that is fed into the mechanical linkage. So see, this is our worm and this is our steering shaft. So the steering wheel is fitted here and we have rotate this steering wheel, and here we the section gear is installed according to the motion of worm gear. The section gear is give the motion, or we can say that provide the angular motion for the front wheel assembly. Now cam and lever. So what is cam and lever? Here is a helical groove is formed at the bottom end of the steering wheel shaft. The helical groove is engaged the projection pin of the drop and spindle lever. The drop arm is made right with the lever pegged by a speed-lined spindle. So here SP line joint is here. This is our casing. Here is our drop arm and this is our steering wheel shaft. So what happened? Wheel is attached here and this is our cam. So this is our cam and slot cutted in the helical groove. See, helical groove is here. So what happened? It's rotate and this helical groove like a cam, and this is the lever. So this lever is moved according to this groove. So this groove is called like this is our cam. These groups work like cam. Because cam is nothing but it is a differential surface, means During the distance, the different height and waist is there. So like this, what happen if a roller is attached here? So what happen? It's turn here, then the distance between minimum of here like this, and again it's here, then it's get it initial height. So it's rotate like this and get the moments up and down. Similarly here the lever get the motion according to this helical groove, which is called as cam. A recirculating ball type steering gear. It consists of a worm at the end of the steering rod. A nut is mounted on the worm with two sets of the ball is the grooves of the worm. In between the nuts and the worm, the ball reduces friction during the movement of the nut on the worm. The nut has a number of teeth on outside, which mess sorry which mess with the teeth on a worm wheel sector, on which on which is further mounted the drop arm. When the steering wheel is turned, the ball in the worm roll into the groove and causes the nut to travel along the length of the worm. The balls, which are in two sets, are recirculated through the guides. The movement of the nuts causes the wheel sector to turn at angle and accurate the link rod through the drop arm, resulting in the desired steering of the wheel. The end play of the worm can be adjusted by the means of the adjuster nut provided to compensate for the wear of the teeth and the nut of the worm. The two have to be brought nearer body. To achieve this, the teeth on the nut are made tapered in the plane perpendicular to the plane of the figure. See, recirculating balls. See here, these are the recirculating balls. These balls is recirculate according to the movement of the steering wheel. Okay, this is our steering shaft. So steering wheel is attached here, and this is our filament arm. So this is our worm gear, and this ball is rotate on the slot provided in the worm gears. Rack and pinion steering wheel. So rack and pinion steering wheel is quickly becoming the most common type of steering on the car, small truck and SUV. On the most car, it takes 3 to 4 complete revolution of the steering wheel to make the wheel shifter from the lock to lock from far left to right. The rack and pinion gear set does two things. It converts the rotational motion of the steering wheel into the linear motion needed to the turn of the wheel. It provides a gear reduction, making it easier to turn the wheel. See the diagram. This is the rack and pinion. Here, rack here and a small gear is pinion. So this rotary linear motion provide to the wheel. See here, here is provide. So what happen here? This is our steering wheel. We give rotary motion to the pinion, and according to this, the front wheel is moved. See, pinion gear is attached here, and here is the rack. Basic rack and pinion components. See here. So power rack and pinion. When the rack and pinion is a power steering system, the rack has slightly different design. Part of the rack consists a cylinder with a piston in the middle. The piston is connected to the rack. There are two fluid ports, one on other side of the piston, supplying higher pressure fluid to one side of the piston forces the piston to move, which is turn move the rack, so providing power assistance. So see here, this is the our rack. There is a piston and a pinion is attached here, so that the steering wheel is attached. We just rotate. See here, this is the pinion and this is our rack, and rack is attached to the piston and cylinder assembly, so that fluid is fluid pressure is applied for the turning purpose. Now power steering. Power steering has two types of the device for the steering effort. One type is hydraulic device utilize the engine power. The other type utilize an electric motor. For the former, the engine is used to drive a pump. For the latter, an independent electric motor in the front luggage compartment is used the pump. Both develop fluid pressure, and the pressure act on the piston within the power cylinder, so that the pinion assists to the rack effort. The amount of this assistance depend on the extent of the pressure acting on the piston. Therefore, Therefore, if more steering force is required, the pressure must be raised. Variation in the fluid pressure is accomplished by a control valve which is linked to the steering main shaft. Electric power steering system. So this is power where fluid power is used, and now electric power steering system, EPS or EPAS. is designed to use an electric motor to reduce effort by providing the steering assistance to the driver of a wheel. Sensor detect the motion and torque of a steering column, and a computer module applied assistive torque via electric motor is coupled directly to the either the steering gear or steering column. This allows to varying amount of assistance to applied depending on the driving condition. The system allows the engineers to tailor steering gear response to variable rate and variable damping suspension system, achieving an ideal blend of the ride, handle and steering for the vehicle. In the event of the component failure, a mechanical linkage such as rack and pinion serve as a backup of the manage similar that of the hydraulic system. So a backup mechanical mechanism is also provide for the electrical power steering system. See what happened. The steering wheel is here, and now other mechanism is installed here. See, electrical energy and mechanical energy. So red arrows show the electric energy, electric torque sensor signal to computer. Now computer read the vehicle speed for the sensor. On demand electric power is drawn from the changing the system. Computer send to the torque command to the motor. Now belt and ball nut here, rack and screw component assist here, and rack and pinion provide here. Okay. So blue red line or red arrow show the electrical component, and blue arrow, sorry, yellow arrow show the mechanical component or mechanical linkage in the system. Now hydraulic power steering system, HPS. In a hydraulic system of reducing the steering effort on the vehicle by using the hydraulic pressure to assist turning the wheel. It is intended to provide for the easier driving direction control of the car while pressing feedback, stability and ambiguity of the trajectory specified. The speeding or steering booster is arranged to the so that should be boost fail, the steering will be continue to work although the wheel will be heavier. The steering booster consists of following basic elements: steer torque detection, controlled pressure distributors, hydraulic booster pump, tank with the working of liquid, connection hoses. The work liquid, also called hydraulic fuel or oil, is the medium by which pressure is transmitted. Common working liquid are based on the mineral oil. For pressure restriction in the pump, there is retrieving valve which is adjust on the different car in the range of 7 to 30 MPa. Hydraulic power system here, the pump and this is the pulley, and there is rotatory valve. Steering gear is attached here and there is pulley. So how is This is our fluid reserve, return hoses, valve is there, rotor is here, and press hoses the lift. So what happened? This spring relief valve release the pressure which is obtained to rotate the steering wheel. So when turning is take place, after that pressure is released by this release valve. This is the difference between hydraulic and electrical power steering. Hydraulic power steering system is completed compared with the electric power steering. Hydraulic power steering usually weight more than electric power steering, and hydraulic steering use hydraulic fluid for the operation, where there is no such fluid needed to the electric power steering. Thus electric power steering need less maintenance compared to the hydraulic power steering. Electric power steering gives better response at the different speed and compared to the hydraulic power steering. Electrical power steering is less prone to the problem, and faults are more durable as compared to the hydraulic power steering. Hydraulic power steering extract the power from the engine, so it reduces the fuel mileage on the engine. Electric power steering consumes the power from the battery, so it is also charged by the engine, but it consumes less power comparison to the hydraulic power steering. So in this case, for the light vehicles, and car, electric power steering system is more suitable in comparison to hydraulic power. But in the heavier transportation like heavy truck and heavy passenger buses is there is hydraulic power is applied. But in the comparison of the cost, hydraulic power is get less costly in comparison to electric power steering. Now, electro hydraulic system means we can mix the electro hydraulic system so that we can utilize the electric uh, advantage in the hydraulic system too. Electro-hydraulic power steering system, sometime abbreviation EHPS, electro-hydraulic power steering system, is also sometimes called hybrid system. Use the some hydraulic assistance technology pump driven by an electric motor instead of the being built right by the engine. By providing the power assistance via hydraulic pressure, this system delivers an naturally smooth steering feel and thanks to the flexibility of the control allowed by the electric power, offer more precise steering power characteristic. It is also improve the fuel economy since the electric power pump operate only when the steering assist in the needed. See here. So some disadvantage and advantage have hydraulic power supply, and some advantage and disadvantage have electric power steering system. So we can combine the both and get the advantage of both power system. Now, speed sensitive steering system. Here the steering is heavier assist at the low speed and highly assist at the high speed. The automakers perceive the motorist mind need to make the large steering input while the maneuvering the parking, but not while the traveling at the high speed. So there is speed sensitive steering system. So what happened when the high speed is there, then the steering ratio is minimized. When we going to park our vehicle, then what happened? The steering ratio is high. Okay, so the steering ratio is depend on the speed. That's why we called it speed sensitive steering system. Speed sensitive steering system. So see here what happened. Electronics speedometer in the vehicle. Electronic control unit ECU. Electro hydraulic transducer is there. Rack and pinion power steering gear. Steering pump is there. Oil reservoir with the fine fitter. Anti-vibration expandable hoses. Manually adjustable steering column. So these are the, because the steering system or steering ratio, we can say that steering ratio depend on the speed. That's why there is a speedometer is there. Now, four-wheel steering system. So, till now, whatever the steering system we study, that is only for the two-wheel steering system. Means the steering system is attached only the front two wheel. But what is the four-wheel steering system? Four-wheel steering system, or we can say that all-wheel steerings, is a system employed by some vehicle to improve the steering response, increase vehicle stability while maneuvering at a high speed, or to decrease the turning radius at the low speed. It most active four-wheel steering system. The rear wheel are the rear wheels are steered by a computer and actuator. The rear wheels generally cannot turn as far as the front wheel. Some systems include Delphi Quadrilateral, and the system is Honda piloted line. Also, rear wheel to steer in the opposite direction as the front wheel during the low speed. This allows the vehicle to turn a significantly small radius in comparison to two-wheel steering system. In an active four-wheel steering system, all four wheels turn at the some time when the driver steers. There can be control to switch off the rear steer and option to the steer only. The rear wheel is independent of the four wheel at slow speed. The rear wheel turn opposite of the front wheel, reducing the turning radii by up to 25%, while at high speed both front and rear wheel turn alike, so that the wheel or vehicle may be changed position with less yaw, enhancing straight line stability. The smacking effect experienced during the motorway drive while towing a travel trailer is such largely nullified. Four-wheel steering found its most widespread use in the large farm vehicles and trucks. Some of the modern European intercity buses also utilize four-wheel steering to the assist maneuverability in the bus terminals, also to improve road stability. Now see, this is the four-wheel steering system. Means we can move the all four during the turn. Fast speed, this is the low speed. So slow speed, what happened? They can rotate or turn differently. Means the front axle or front wheel turn is more in comparison to real wheel. How much more? About the 25%. About the 25% is greater. And here in the fast speed, what happened? The turn or rotation or turning of the wheel is similar as front wheel as rear wheel. Now, steer by wired system. The main of steer by wired system technology is completely do away with as many mechanical components. Steering soft column gear reduction mechanism as possible, completely replacing conventional steering system with the steer by the wire hold several advantages. What are the advantages of steer by the wire system? The absence of steering column simplify the car interior design. The absence of steering soft column and gear direction mechanism also better space utilization in the engine component. The steering mechanism can be designed and installed as modular unit. Without mechanical connection between the steering wheel and the road wheel, it is less likely that the impact of the frontal crush will force the steering wheel to intrude into the driver's several space. Steering system characteristics can easily and infinitely be adjusted to optimize the steering response and feel. Because the complexity of the drive-by-wire system, some people are wrongly about the potential electronics malfunction in the sensor and computers, leading to the drive damage or even car accident and passenger injury. So this is the your here upper joint, intermediate and start. What happened? A wire connection is here. So a wire connection is here. So what happened? We need less linkage and mechanism here. Less linkage and mechanism here. So it is gave more space for the utilization. It's give us more space for the utilization. So that is the end for the today's session. So students,